What's up, Robert family? How's everybody doing tonight? December 27th, 2019, the last Smackdown of the decade. Jean Paul, Egg, and myself say hi to all of you. And we just want to start right away because we just want to get this show review and talk about because this show didn't do anything at all for me.
Yeah.
Jean Paul, did it do anything for you?
No, not at all. There was one thing I was looking forward to, and WWE made a mockery and a joke of it. So, no.
Yeah,
This show was awful.
the show was not good at all,
Uh-huh.
and we thought at least it's the last SmackDown of the decade. They will do probably something good. They will try to end the year and the decade when it comes to SmackDown on a good note. Did they do that?
No.
Hell no. Show sucked. So we're gonna cover everything, and we're gonna start right now. So Jean Paul, show starts with Elias. He sings a song. He pretty much summarizes whatever is gonna happen throughout the show. He says there's been things like Bailey's haircut, Shane McMahon's haircut. He says, well, you guys should be happy that at least we don't have Lana and Lashley's wedding on SmackDown. And he
Yeah, and
says,
that's like, not to interrupt you, but like to go off some of those things he says, like, Elias is, and this is the same thing. When he got injured, he had that, like, now it's like a refresh. He's coming back and they're doing the same shit with him where he's playing songs, except this time he's getting a bigger pop. Where were they tonight?
oh, Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, Detroit. They actually gave him like decent responses. Even Braun Strowman got a good response, which surprised me. I thought that was just them piping in crowd noise, but the crowd, you actually saw them waving and going crazy. So
Yeah.
it was a good crowd in Detroit tonight. So like he's more over than I thought he would be coming back. Get this dude in the ring against people and just get him wins. That's what like it needs to happen. But I feel like they're just gonna put him in the same shit. He's gonna just play songs and done.
That's what I mean. Like we've been saying
Like
this.
he's probably going to just play songs and do nothing, and then that'll be the fucking return match for Edge at WrestleMania.
And Frank, hopefully that's not the case because that
Because
would
they
be
had
awful. That
because
would
they
be
had that
awful.
little interaction at SummerSlam, I
At
think it was in
SummerSlam.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll probably be Edge's return match because WWE's like, oh ho ho ho, like this is good shit.
Oh yeah, this is good stuff. So we gotta keep it like that, right, guys? Yeah, of course. Like this guy is clear to wrestle. Why can he not have a match? Like you said, he's over. He's a face now.
Yeah, because
He's
that's
making a mockery of everybody. Why don't you give him matches so this guy can actually get some wins under his belt and maybe start on a decent feud with a good heel? Don't you think?
yeah, because that's all they see in him, and he's one of those guys who he can be face, he can be heel, because he's like he shits on everybody. You can flip the switch, you can make him whatever you want, but he's not an AJ Styles, he's not Daniel Bryan, but I mean he's a hell of a lot better than guys like Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, some like those big guys. He has a decent move set, like his finisher is pretty legit. But the drift away or
The
something?
drift away.
Yeah.
Drift
But
away.
like you could do stuff with him, but they don't see him as that. All they see him as is a dude who just plays guitar, makes a couple jokes, and that's it. And that's what WWE. Once they typecast you, once they see you as a certain thing, that's what you are, and you're done.
Yeah, you don't.
Only
They
if you
just put
can like
one layer in.
yeah, yeah. And it's hard to break through that. Like only a few guys can like break through that and be like, no, this is what I actually am. And I don't see Elias doing that.
Oh yeah, like I absolutely agree with you. Like this guy should be having matches rather than just become like a comedy act or just
Hmm.
like just like oh the guitar player. That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how the show started, and then right away we go to the triple threat match with Baron Corbin, Daniel Bryan, and The
Yep.
Miz.
And I
And
was
that's when
yeah,
that's when the bullshit
yeah,
started.
that's when the bullshit and
When the stupidity began.
and obviously the show is over now. But if I'm going back into the past, my whole thing was, and I don't know, you tell me what you were thinking then. But I was like, what's the main event gonna be? Lacey Evans on Talking Bliss, like the tag team match between the women, like this is the only match that people honestly give a flying shit about, and it's on. It's to open the show. Like I was confused. I was like, what are they even gonna do? So
When
then I
I
was
went
then I
when
was
that's
thinking,
happening,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I thought to myself, I'm like, the main event better be something really good.
yeah,
Maybe the Fiend, maybe, I was just thinking maybe the return of somebody, something to close the year on a really
mhm,
high note, a good note. But,
yeah,
I was like, I wasn't thinking that they're going to do like a whole mockery and drag
mhm,
the whole main event throughout the whole show. I
yeah,
didn't think that.
yeah,
So Daniel Bryan comes out first. Then we see Baron Corbin coming out, and he of course is trying to do the same mistake with the King Corbin. Nobody likes that. The freaking guys are carrying the dude, and he's on the microphone already. He's not even down, and he's saying, "Well, you and the Miz are terrible fathers, and both of you also are former world champions, and you both of you main event in WrestleMania." He's like, "Neither one of you deserve a chance at the Fiend. I earned my opportunity because I beat Roman Reigns twice, and since Roman Reigns returned, so I'll be the one that's going to vanquish the Fiend." And then said, "Daniel Bryan, you're a nice guy, but you're no longer championship material, and I'm the only guy who can beat the Fiend." Out of nowhere, Roman Reigns music hits. He's low, and he falls out of the his what is it
like
like
the
the
throne.
throne
You
that
just
he
call it,
has.
yeah.
He felt so stupid.
Oh my
He
god,
felt
dude.
so god awful. Like that's terrible acting in it. If
Mhm.
at least you're gonna act like that, sell me in it.
Yeah, if I'm gonna shoot on Corbin, dude, Corbin is he is so awful. His if 1 out of 10, his mic work is a 2.5 at best. He is so awful. He's so cringy to me. Like if he came up to me and was shooting that promo against me, like, "Oh, you're a terrible father. You're this or that," I would literally laugh in his face and just smack him. I could literally speak gibberish, and I would beat him in a promo battle. Like he's awful on the mic, and he, like you said, his acting and everything is just so it's just so like
Yeah.
cringy and unbelievable.
Well, like
In
I said,
the ring, he can be decent, but
but yeah, like I said to you,
yeah,
because when he's going off the throne, he supposedly, he falls from you, and you just see him like, oh, like
mhm.
really, like you're tall as crap. Like, can you just like go down? And of course,
Oh yeah,
are you that scared that Roman is right there? So he
hmm
comes off, he gets up, and Roman is right behind him. And then he starts beating him up, and then he's the lackeys or the cronies, like he calls them. They're like trying to defend him, but Roman, of course, spears everybody, or he hits everybody. He hits a Superman punch on Corbin, and the segment goes off the air.
hmm
And the segment goes off the air, and then Baron Corbin is fighting in the back. He says like, "Oh, like it shouldn't be a triple threat match anymore. They should cancel the match. I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting." So that's what we see as the first segment. I'm like, okay, looks god awful already.
yeah,
This
because
is
you're
terrible.
just yeah, because I the way I saw it was like, okay, so I would have rather had it if like now that I knew that they just drug out this match and it took them 3 times to finally have this main event. I'd rather have it seen it go on first and just been a legit match, no fuckery, just happen and then be done. Because
Yeah,
now this is for the biggest title on SmackDown. It's technically the biggest title that's on television because Brock Lesnar again is plastered on every milk carton across North America because he's missing in action because he's a
yep.
piece of shit and works for a company that he refuses to actually work for. But so Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, that's the #1 money program, and they completely screwed this up by putting Baron Corbin in it. What did Baron Corbin even do to be like
To
to
be
get
in
into this
contendership
storyline?
for the
Yeah.
title. Yeah.
Well, okay. The one thing I will say, if we take all the bad storylines and the dog food and the gimmicks and all that, he did beat Roman Reigns twice. And Roman Reigns is a guy who had a lot of wins under his belt and all that stuff coming back. He had a lot of momentum. So if you look at that in any other storyline, any other people, Baron Corbin would soon be in line for the title. I
Yeah.
understand that. But if that's what you're doing, you wait and you have Bryan and Miz singles match. Bryan wins, goes against the Fiend, obviously loses, and then you don't do Reigns and Corbin. That should have been done. That should have been
Mm-hmm.
done and over with. Then
Yeah.
after Bryan loses to the Fiend at the Rumble, then you can do like the Fiend and Baron Corbin at Fastlane or the Elimination Chamber or some bullshit just for the Fiend again to beat him. Like, oh, because then he can beat the guy who Roman Reigns couldn't beat. And then obviously when Roman beats him, the Fiend, then it's like, oh, Roman beat the Fiend and he also beat the guy who beat Baron Corbin and he couldn't beat Baron Corbin, so Roman Reigns conquers all, That's that's what they should have done
That's
instead
kind of
of.
the logical storytelling that they should
Yeah,
do.
but they just put Baron Corbin in this because they're like, oh, we're gonna try to get him over because the storyline with the Miz and Daniel Bryan is so over. Maybe that'll rub off on Baron Corbin, but it didn't. Instead, it just brought that good storyline down.
It did. It definitely did. So then we get the first match of the night is the New Day, boys Kofi Kingston, Big E with Braun Strowman against Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, and a returning Sami Zayn.
What?
If anything,
Yeah.
at least Sami Zayn is back in the ring.
What, dude? But honestly, would you have? Is this how you want to see him come back?
No.
Obviously, WWE wasn't going to do a big return. They weren't going to hype it like they are with Sheamus or anything because Sami Zayn has been cleared for weeks now. But really, this is his return. And did he even wrestle? Did he even like? I felt like it was 90% of the match. It was Shinsuke and Cesaro.
Yeah, he only did like a few kicks.
I don't even
A
know
few
if he
kicks and a few punches. That's it.
did he I don't even think he legit tagged in. I think
He
he would
tagged in
just.
for a little bit. Like,
Okay, I was gonna say I feel like every time I saw him, he was just like sneaking around and kicking a guy, and like that was it.
yeah.
And
No,
like when he wasn't tagged in, like from the outside.
Yeah, like no,
Like,
he was like he did a few kicks and then he tagged in again to Cesaro. But like some highlights of the match, Cesaro hit like a really nice uppercut to Kofi Kingston on the outside and he sent him into the announcer's table. That's a really huge spot. It happens. It was noted. Is noted to mention that it was Cesaro's birthday.
oh yeah, I did.
And of course, you have him lose.
Hmm.
Can the heels have a win? That would be nice. You know what I
No,
mean?
well, as soon as I'm gonna be honest, as soon as all this shit last week, it was like, okay, are they setting up for a 6-man tag? You hope not, but are they? Boom, they set up for a 6-man tag. And then as soon as these teams were announced, you could just smell it because WWE is so predictable and they book the same storylines with everybody on the roster, just with different characters. I knew from the 6-man, Braun Strowman is probably going to pin Shinsuke, and the next week he'll be like, I want my Intercontinental Championship match. And then it's done.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like that's how they book.
You already predicted that. You
That's
already
how they
predicted
book.
that.
Yeah, and that's how they book everything. And it's such bullshit. Like, why couldn't Shinsuke, or like have gotten the pin, or have Cesaro get the pin? Cesaro get some momentum. Like you said, why couldn't the heels win for once?
For once, and then give him because it's Cesaro's birthday. Do something different. Do something
Yeah.
nice. But no, and we have some spots about the match. Kofi did also a drop kick from the third rope, and then Cesaro did, and Shinsuke did some double work, and then Cesaro finished with a God wrench suplex for a near fall. Kofi delivers the SOS on Nakamura. Then Cesaro makes the tag with Nakamura and keep doing some double work. Then another super uppercut and for a near fall. Big E stabs the count for that. And then we get Shinsuke with Big E. They go at it. And then Kofi gets tagged in, double knees. Strowman gets he gets the tag. He gets the tag, and we get to see the horse stick, the same thing that is already overrated. A lot of the shoulder tackles to everybody, and of
The
course
bullshit around the
he sets
outside.
up around the ring, and he goes like this, and all of that, and then Sammy pulls Nakamura out of it because he was gonna hit him again, and then Sammy actually goes around into the announcer's table, and then you can see the heels are about to get like some kind of offense, and Nakamura is setting up for like the Kinshasa, but then Kofi Kingston uses the platter that like they have the pancakes in, and then he hits Nakamura with it, and then Strowman gets like the power slam for the 3 count.
Yeah, and the one thing I think it was at that moment Cesaro hit like a springboard uppercut. Do you
Yes.
remember where that was to me was the most like one of the most legit spots of the night, and it was just like I think they hit that was on Strowman. He hit that, and then that's when Shinsuke was setting up for the Kinshasa.
Yes,
And it's like
yes.
that's when they should have won. And then of course he had the fucking like you said the platter, and I'm like, oh my god, you know what I mean? It was just like the match. It was a terrible like it was just terrible booking. There were some decent spots in it, but they could have ended it correctly. But instead, we had to see bullshit, and
When
then
and he gets better, right? After the post match,
it
it gets
gets
a
way
lot better.
better.
It gets a lot better because like okay, we're both thinking okay, this is over.
Mm.
Cool, we can get to move on to something else. No, Kofi Kingston and Big E, they're talking to Strowman and they're like, okay, we have seen you being the monster among men, but we gotta see those hips move.
Mm-hmm.
And then Big E is like, well, we're gonna get these hands. But no, people are gonna get these dance. And Braun Strowman happens to dance to the New Day's theme song.
And the crowd was chanting "Get these hips," and they were going. The crowd was like into it, and I mean, obviously, I was like, "This is cringy, this is dumb," but I will admit though, I was like laughing a little bit just because of how awful he was dancing. So if you're going to ask me yes or no, did the segment make me laugh? Yes, I laughed, but I hate it. You know what I mean? It's one of
Oh yeah,
those where it's like
it's
it
a
wasn't
hate, but you end
funny.
up laughing from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were like to me, I was hoping he would have actually been able to cut up, like, bust the move and been legit.
Oh yeah, like
But he
he
was
did push
awful. Like,
them.
yeah, it would have been funnier if he was like a good dancer, like salsa dancing or something out
Yeah,
there.
he would have been, like, oh yeah,
It
like
would
that.
have been legit, yeah.
Ooh. But no,
But
of course, like he's just, like a robot, like all the cringy moves, and I'm like, okay, so this is how you end the decade.
and that's
This
who,
is
and
how you end
that's
the
and
last episode of the year.
yep, and that's who's gonna beat Shinsuke Nakamura. And I'm gonna say right now, so Shinsuke loses. Let's say he loses the IC title. They probably that if they book that at the Royal Rumble or before, what's Shinsuke gonna do? Literally
Yeah,
nothing. He's done.
nothing,
He's not going to
nothing.
be in the Rumble. He's not going to win it because clearly we've seen that in WWE. There's a better chance of me winning the Rumble than Shinsuke winning the Rumble again. So, like, it's just unfortunate, like, where it is, to see this
It's just
talent
really
wasted.
bad, for Shinsuke because he's a good wrestler,
Hmm.
and for Sami Zayn the same thing. Cesaro same thing. These three guys are a team, but can they get any win?
No.
Can they get any wins? That's the main problem. And yeah, moving along, we get the notification that there's going to be a match between the Miz and Daniel Bryan, but there's just going to be between the two of them because Baron Corbin is still refusing to have the match. So then
Hmm.
we go backstage. We get to see Sonya Deville. She's signing some papers, I think, some posters or some photos from her. And then we see Mandy Rose. She said, "Hey, I'm sorry about them about last week. Are you going to be in my match?" And she's like, "Well, no, you clearly weren't in mine." So she's like, "Well, it's because I was covered in sweat."
Hmm.
And she said, "Well,
From Otis.
I'm gonna get, I'm just gonna get finish something and I'll join you in the ring." And then we see Otis. We
Hmm.
see Otis, and then he has some cake. He
Yeah.
said it's handmade fruit cake,
Hmm.
and he said, "Hey, I'm sorry because I got I got your dress all sweaty." And you can see a different side of Mandy Rose. She's actually all happy. She's all like nice. She's like, "Oh, don't worry." Like,
She's playing face. She's being nice to Otis.
yeah, she's being very nice. She's being very supportive, sympathetic to what like Otis is saying because Otis is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, so and
Oh,
she's like, "Oh no, it's fine. It happens." This is that one you can see that Otis is trying to flirt with her, trying to
uh,
get her to talk a little more, and she's like, "Hey, I have a match right now, so I gotta go." And then we get to see Carmella going against Mandy Rose. Once again, why does Carmella has pyro? Jean Paul already answered that for me, so I'm not going to ask that ever again.
But
But
speaking of that bald piece of shit, I did like when Michael Cole said to him, "Oh yeah, like maybe if Otis and Mandy, maybe if they hook up, you and Carmella can go on a double date with them." And then he's
yeah,
like, "I think I threw up in my mouth," or
yeah,
something like that. He said, and I'm like, "That was legit."
yeah. I mean, like,
From
he's a
Michael
prick.
Cole, yeah,
He's
that's
a
a yeah.
dick. He's a
I
dick.
mean, obviously, like that line was fine, but just all the other shit he says, it's like, dude, to go off on Corey Graves, one moment he's like a corporate shill and he's like WWE's the best thing ever and blah blah blah, and then the next moment he tries to be cool and edgy and like shit on WWE in his podcast, but it's like
Exactly. And
he's
all,
shitting on them, but it's corporate fed. Like the upper management is saying, "Oh, say this about us, say that about us." He's not
yes.
going on his podcast. It's not unfiltered. He's not
No,
shooting
no.
from the hip. He's
And you like
has a
you said, for
script.
example, I
Yeah.
feel that Corey Graves is the type of guy that like he loves to make fun of people. He loves to bully people. When somebody is actually going back at him, he gets really
Mhm.
mad. He
Oh
goes
yeah,
off.
he's one of those who he can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Exactly. So Carmella, Mandy Rose have the match. It was like a really quick match. Carmella is starting out dominating for the little bit of the first moments of the match. Then Mandy takes over with the knee. She does a good knee. I will say that. She
Yeah,
deals the knee.
Mandy's on like the chart for me where it's like you're hot, but like you're not a good wrestler. She's like almost out of that category where she's like she's hot and she's a decent wrestler. You know what I
Yeah, like
mean?
she
Yeah,
can put
she's getting
some.
there, and that's what I like to see. Like they're not just relying like, oh, I'm good looking and that will get me by. She's actually getting like a little bit better, so that's good to see.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. And she also goes for a drop kick for a near fall, and then she goes, "You'll never look like me," because she loves to say that to every single wrestler now.
Yeah,
You'll never look like
that's
me.
that's the only thing that's kind of bullshit. Like enough with this "I'm hotter than anybody" storyline. Just like you
Yeah,
know,
like you don't need that. And
yeah.
then you can see how Carmella and Mandy they start exchanging slaps. Then Carmella goes for a Hurricanrana and a clothesline for another near fall, and then they exchange a lot of pinfalls. They go with backslides, small packages, backslides, small
And you see
packages.
that a lot in like I don't know. I don't like they do that a lot in matches, and it's not even just matches where like the people aren't as good like wrestlers. Like you see it in matches even with like technical like wizards in the ring. So it's like I just don't like that where like they it's like oh a backslide and then a roll up and then a schoolboy and then a small package. Like I don't like all that like exchange. I
It's,
never yeah.
yeah, to me, it's like it's like okay, are you gonna finish or what?
Yeah,
Just do
because
something else.
Yeah, because nobody ever gets pinned in that. Like
Yeah,
that, you always kick out, and then both people stand up, and then they go at each other. Like the match never ends from
yeah,
that.
and then
So
to conclude the match, then Carmella hit a super kick because that's the one thing that she does the best. She does have a really nice super kick, and I thought I'm like she's not gonna end with that, and she actually went with that. She won with that super kick. 1, 2, 3. Carmella wins the match, and once again, there was a promo that said about her is like, remember, I was a former SmackDown champion, I was a former Money in the Bank winner, and I'm gonna give you another reason to think that Mela is money. Do I think that? I don't think so at all.
yeah, I mean, she's one of those. She's. I would say she's like Mandy Rose, but a little bit better. And like in ring wise talent, like some of her moves look legit. It's just one of those things where I feel like they're not pushing these women to get any better. Like the only one who's pushing anybody on the roster, the only one who's pushing them to get better is themselves.
Yeah.
There's nobody from management that's saying, "Hey, we want you to get better," or we want, if anything, they want them to get worse.
The
Like
way that
look,
they portray them,
yeah,
the
yeah,
way they're portraying it, is worse.
and not just the women, everybody. Like
Oh,
Ricochet, how we talk, they cut Ricochet. I know he's on Raw, obviously, but they cut his move set in half. They take so many people who are legit, and they're like, instead of being legit, like we know you can be, how about you be really shitty, like our show? Because we don't want you to outshine our show. Because we don't want people to talk about Ricochet or AJ Styles or whoever. We want people to talk about WWE.
oh
They
yeah.
don't.
Like for
Yeah,
example, like do like the one thing is like, can you? If there's any attempt of getting yourself over, they actually get mad about it.
yeah, that's what
And
I
like you
mean.
said, they don't want you to outshine anybody else. Oh,
And
like, but I have a better moveset. I can do all of this and everything. No, but you cannot be better than the Rollins, than
yeah,
Roman. You cannot go beyond those guys.
and what even happened, like, to get back on the women and just like the bad wrestling and this and that, like Charlotte was one too, who I know they pushed Charlotte obviously, and she's their number one, but she used to be like in really good matches. Like her match with Ronda was legit. Her match with Asuka at WrestleMania was legit. The triple threat TLC was legit last year. And then,
Evolution
and
with Becky Lynch, Last Man
yeah,
Standing.
yeah,
That
yeah,
would be
that
good.
was legit. There's just so many legit matches that Charlotte had, and then ever since like WrestleMania, she's just been like, wrestling the same match. Oh, I'm gonna like a John Cena match. Like, oh, I'm gonna start off like this, then I hit my comeback, then I do my signature, then my finisher, and done. And it's like it's formulaic and it's boring. It's like WWE is like, hey, instead, don't go out there and be crazy and good. Just work the same match that you work every other time. People love it, and it's like, no,
Oh
we
yeah,
don't.
like it's like can you do something different? No, it's just the
Yeah,
same stuff. Like yeah, like you can tell again. We've said this, from 2 weeks already. Autopilot mode.
hmm
Autopilot mode. Everybody's just let's get this finally the year 2019 over with, and let's starting from next week or in 2 weeks. We're gonna start already getting the engines going. The engine's gonna start going for the Royal Rumble. So
yeah, but see, and that's the thing. Well, you just said it perfectly. The Royal Rumble, all these useless matches, like these women's matches and all this stuff. Why isn't this something where it's like, hey, like I want to be in the Royal Rumble, and then like this and that, and it's like, oh, we're fighting, and it's like, oh, maybe. I mean, obviously, you don't want to say like, oh, if Carmella beats Mandy Rose, she's going to be number 30 in the Rumble, because why would those two women get an opportunity to, have such a good spot at number 30? But like, you can do some Rumble build. You can do something to make it like, oh, we're fighting because we both want to win the Royal Rumble. Like, just sprinkle Royal Rumble stuff into these matches. Instead, they just wait till January to be like, oh, the Rumble's this month. I guess we should hype it. When you
yeah,
should be hyping it as soon as Survivor Series is over.
yeah. As soon as like Survivor Series, as soon as TLC, you
Well,
should
fuck,
already be
dude.
talking.
I'm gonna be honest. Fuck TLC. Who cares about that pay per view?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah, January, and I'm not. It goes November, December, January. So there's only that 1 month in there. You could build the Royal Rumble for that whole month.
or you could make the
You
Royal
know?
Rumble so meaningful. You
Yeah,
can give it so much, importance. You can give make it so special.
yeah.
Give him
That's
like a two
yeah.
month build up.
And
Like you said, hey, we're gonna have a series of matches. Whoever of these women win, all these series of matches will be the number
mhm.
30 at the
Yeah,
Royal Rumble.
and how like Sheamus has been cutting all these promos for weeks. Why isn't he saying something like, and at the Royal Rumble, I'm gonna kick every like because he talks about kicking down the door and how he was like one
Yeah.
of the warriors of SmackDown. He can say like, I'm gonna make SmackDown return it to greatness and be the number one warrior when I eliminate 30 men. I return to the Royal Rumble and I'm going to eliminate 30 men or 29 men. And I'm gonna be the winner. Like I don't like that's what they should be doing. They should be sprinkling. And later in the show tonight, we get to Ali had a promo. Why wasn't Ali saying how he's gonna win the Royal Rumble? Like that's I don't know. Like that's what I liked about wrestling back in the day when these guys were cutting promos. They say like, what does the Royal Rumble mean to me? If I'm in this match and I have an opportunity, blah blah blah, I'm gonna show the world what I can do because that gets you excited. That gets you hyped.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And talking about Sheamus, we're gonna mention another problem. It's like
Mm-hmm.
already 4 weeks of this. Tired. I'm starting not to care.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a like Sheamus. I care enough about Sheamus only like the way because I'm excited for how they're gonna book him. It is the same thing though. Like I feel the same way you do, where if they keep showing they can't keep showing the promos every week on SmackDown. If they were showing it every other week, it wouldn't seem as like as like over redundant and monotonous. Like
Boring
oh
and
yeah,
boring.
and boring.
Pretty much
Cause
boring. Yeah.
yeah, cause
Plain.
like
Useless.
because we keep seeing it's like okay he's ready to return and all this. It's like why doesn't he? Hmm. Probably because WWE doesn't know how to book him. So here, WWE, listen to Rope Break. I'm gonna book it for you right now. So
Hmm.
you're gonna have Braun Strowman beat Shinsuke because you hate, anybody who's not 6'7" and like 340 pounds, and you also hate anybody who's Japanese. Well,
Or
also,
it's not English by
yeah.
not English proficient. There you go.
So Braun Strowman's gonna be the new IC champ. To me, that's the feud. You have Sheamus come back. You make him a heel, and he fucking takes out boom. He takes out Braun Strowman because what's Braun Strowman like? To me, he's done. I don't even know why you would give him the IC belt,
Oh
but
yeah.
that's what I would do. I would have Sheamus come back, and it would be Daniel Bryan, at WrestleMania. What was that? Which WrestleMania was that? Where he beat Bryan in like 14 seconds.
It was 28.
Yep,
WrestleMania
that's what
28.
that's what I would do with Strowman and Sheamus. Ding ding ding, kick and done.
Bro kick and done. A
Mm.
new IC
I
champion.
mean, obviously they won't do that. They're not going to squash Strowman like that. But maybe you could do something where Sheamus is now. I don't want to say a 4-man group because God forbid we see 8-man tag matches with a returning Xavier Woods and then Braun Strowman versus these 4 guys. But Sheamus and Cesaro are teammates. Maybe it could be Sheamus is going against Braun Strowman. It's a pretty legit match. Strowman looks like he's going to win. Cesaro comes out. European uppercut or he does something, bro kick, and then because they have the ties from being the bar and all that stuff. So maybe Cesaro comes out, helps him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel
You
that they need to do something very special with Sheamus because I'm getting tired of all these promos every single week. This
Yeah,
one,
exactly.
particularly, he says that he's tired of seeing that all the opportunities that he left behind, the other people like didn't take advantage of them. Like the wrestlers that are like have made SmackDown a really lame show, is a really weak house,
Hmm.
and they will never be worthy of the name champion. So when they face the Celtic Warrior, the Celtic Warrior, he's gonna be ready to break the door, and that's all it is.
And I mean he's right though. And, like I wish I could book SmackDown because if I could, I would take Baron Corbin and I would drag him to the recycling bin, delete. I take Roman Reigns and I'd probably drag him to the site recycling bin and delete him. At least, well, maybe not delete him, but I at least put him there, and he could stay in there for a couple months. Because you have so many people on this show that you could build an amazing show. You have Ali, Daniel Bryan,
Shorty
yeah,
Gable.
Chad Gable. You have the revival. Turn the Miz heel again and make that monster heel. I mean, I know Miz isn't like that crazy of a heel, but he's a way better heel than a face. Turn
Yes,
him heel, and
you
you
have
have
Cesaro.
yeah,
You
you have
have Cesaro.
Cesaro, Sami Zayn. I would make Sami Zayn. He would be him and Daniel Bryan and Ali. They would be like my 3 number 1 baby faces on my brand.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
you could do Sami Zayn versus Cesaro. That could be like an IC match or 2 out of 3 falls for the IC title. Take my fucking money.
yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
what I
saying?
mean.
But nope.
That's what I mean. Oh
Here we
yeah,
are.
you're absolutely right. Absolutely
Because
right.
if I book SmackDown, everybody on YouTube would love to review my show. But
Oh yeah, and it will be now. It will be in just road breaks. Everybody.
yeah.
So we go again to the next part of the show. Daniel Bryan and the Miz, they have the match, and they start over once again. Going back and forth. Then you see Daniel Bryan with the yes kicks, and when he's about to hit the main kick, then the Miz counters, same spot. Miz is about to do the same yes kicks, was about to hit the main kick. Daniel Bryan catches him, and all of a sudden, you see Baron Corbin's cronies going all over the ring, and the match gets stopped. And The Miz and Daniel Bryan are starting to fight back, and Daniel Bryan hits the running knee, and all of that, and they go up to gorilla position because they see Baron Corbin's cutting a promo, and he says, "Oh, I'm not having this match. I deserve to be in this match, but I don't want to be in the match because Roman Reigns is going to attack me. You guys should be protecting me." And Kayla Braxton goes, "Well, Roman was kicked out of the building," and he said, "Oh, was he?" Yeah. So and then you see Daniel Bryan and The Miz going into gorilla position, and when Baron Corbin is, and then you see everybody again another brawl. So to me, already the match, no
Yeah.
importance. I don't care what's gonna happen. Why you have to drag a match throughout the whole show?
Yeah, and the one like again, they were trying to portray it as it was just going to be a singles match. The Miz is even though I was just hyping him up a little earlier and saying turn him heel. At least when he's heel, his promo work gets him over. He is so awful in the ring. There was one spot that when I saw this, I was like, dude, I don't care how long you've been here. You need to just be on your reality TV show and get the fuck out of the wrestling ring. Daniel Bryan was on the apron and he went to grab his leg and like sweep him down to like knock him, so he hits the apron and then falls to the outside. Well, he grabs his leg and instead of grabbing his leg and legit holding onto it and pulling it like you would actually do if wrestling, was real, not to say it's fake, but I hate saying that. But anyway, he grabs his leg and he pulls his arms like the motion like you would do, but he lets go of Daniel Bryan's leg, and then Daniel Bryan throws himself down. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He couldn't have just held onto his leg and do that. Like, what? And the camera was right on it. They didn't try to do anything. It was like, yup, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, this is just so bad. And I'm like, is this really going to be the match? It's on in the middle of the show. And then again, we seen the Corbin beat the cronies come out. They, causes the DQ. And like you said, he cut that promo in the back. Oh, like, I don't want to get attacked by Roman. He should be allowed to beat me up. Like, this match shouldn't happen. It should be postponed. Baron Corbin he's the king of the ring. He's this monster heel that Vince McMahon loves. Why isn't he should have, like, when Roman came out and jumped him in the beginning, it should have cut the backstage where him and Roman were beating the shit out of each other in the locker room. He should have
exactly.
been like, fuck you, dude. You want to jump me? I'm gonna jump you. And they should have been beating the hell out of each other.
Exactly. Like
But
they
instead, they portray him as a pussy.
exactly. You don't need to have that kind of a heel in your roster. He
No.
should be actually going against Roman and getting revenge of what Roman just did to him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. So after that, we get another commercial break. Then we get the promo by Ali. That was really good.
That's like
So
I love Mustafa Ali, man.
he should be the one, that they should be one of the top baby faces. So hopefully 2020,
Mm-hmm.
that's the year of Ali.
My,
Because again, all the push that Kofi Kingston got, that was supposed to be for Ali. So let's hope that he doesn't get injured, and hopefully he deserves the spot that he needs to have.
yeah, I'm gonna say for the Royal Rumble, it's gonna be either him or Humberto is gonna be the Iron Man. I don't think either of them will win it, but I think they're gonna be the Iron Man. I think they're gonna be in it early, definitely within the number 10 spot, maybe within the number 5, and I feel like whichever one of those two that is, I think is gonna be the Iron Man. I think they're gonna last till Final Four. And
Yeah,
I
I
think that'll
agree
be
with
a good show because they like Humberto and Ali. I'm hoping that this is like an actual rebuild, and let's push this guy
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I
because
really
that
think
would
that
be
that
that
would.
would. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I would just feel that like that will be a good situation for him because again, the promo work that he's saying is like I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be a different man now. I'm gonna be more real. I'm gonna take care of business. I don't want to be in these tag teams. I don't want to be featured poorly like I have,
Yeah, and
and that could be a good chance in the Royal Rumble.
and that's the thing. Like they showed all like the failures from when Randy Orton like busted his face, and then lost in or it wasn't even in the Elimination Chamber, and then he lost at the Money in the Bank when that bullshit finish. He was told he was going to be the winner until the pay per view actually started, and then they're like, "Hey, just kidding, Brock Lesnar's coming back. Fuck
Yeah.
you, because
Hmm.
we screwed up Seth Rollins, and we need to try to get him over again."
Yep.
So yeah, Ali was just screwed, and like he said, all this like stuff that like happened to him. You would think he would be down and depressed, but his whole gimmick is like chasing the light and just like coming like over like overcoming it all, and that's what he's gonna do. And I like how because they could have easily turned him heel.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel. And I like that they're not because he's one of those guys who to me is way over as a face. I really like him, and I have just like when they did a 24 special on him, I think, or some special, like how he was a police officer in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like I have a shit ton of respect for Ali. Like he's such a legit and like a badass human being. So
Oh
like I
yeah.
want to see him get pushed. And if again, like if you're booking it and going off what I said, if Sheamus, that would be the perfect opponent, I think. Sheamus and
Mustafa
um,
Ali.
yeah, Mustafa Ali, and then you could have it where Cesaro has his back. You could have where Chad Gable's like, yo, we teamed up, we tagged. I'll watch your back against Sheamus, and then because I'd love to see that too. Now, don't do this a tag team match, do it singles. But I'd love to see Chad Gable versus Cesaro.
Oh yeah.
It's
That
not. I
would be
mean, like you
great.
can. I don't know why they can't book these singles matches. What's so hard about saying, hey, this is what we're gonna do? Boom, boom, boom.
Or
You have all
what's
these
the
matches.
infatuation with like tag teams?
Yeah.
when it comes to not even have real tag teams, you know?
I think that's the thing. How like Vince McMahon, he hates tag team wrestling. So instead of promoting like legit tag team wrestling, he promotes this like fake bullshit 8-man tag, 6-man
Yeah,
tag,
like it's like he
and he's
likes
like,
to like
oh,
screw
you,
with the
yeah,
idea
yeah, like,
of
oh,
having tag matches.
yeah, you want tag team wrestling? Here it is. Why are you complaining? Ha ha ha. And it's like,
Yeah,
dude, you're not even giving us legit like.
yeah, and you're not even a legit anything.
Mm.
All right, Jean Paul. Moving forward, there's another promo in the back. Mandy Rose is actually trying to get some of the cake that Otis gave her, and you see Dolph Ziggler. And Doug Ziggler goes up to her. What are you doing this weekend? Any plans for the end of the year and everything? And he's like, well, I'm really busy. I don't know about you. And they start talking. And it's like, well, who gave you that cake? Oh, it was Otis. Like, well, but like, what are you doing with him? You shouldn't be hanging out with this dude. Like, he sucks. And then he steps on the cake.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts about that?
and that's like one of those things where it's like, okay, like obviously he's gonna flirt with Mandy. He thinks he's hot, and he's like, "Well, I'm way hotter than Otis, you know, that fat loser." Blah blah blah. And then we see Otis. He's like, he after they walk away, he picks up the cake. He looks all sad and like angry, like a little bit of both. And it's like, now what are you gonna do? Now, don't get me. I would love to see Otis kick Dolph Ziggler's ass, just 1-on-1, but they're not gonna do that. You can smell it in the air. It has a stronger smell than the dog food that was dumped all over Roman. They're going to do either a tag team match with Ziggler and Bobby Roode versus Heavy Machinery, or they're going to do even worse. Can you hear that? It's a
Mhm.
6-man tag coming next week. It's going
Yeah,
to be Heavy Machinery and Roman Reigns versus Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin.
probably. You're
So
already booking the
it's
whole
one of
show.
those things where it's like, if that's what this is, I don't want to see it, but you know, I guess it adds another dynamic to this Otis love triangle. But I
It
could
makes
care.
it
I could.
maybe more interesting, I will say.
I mean,
But
I was fine with it with just Otis being like, he's clearly not going to get with with the girl, but it's like it's fun to cheer him on anyway. But
yeah, it's because it's fun
yeah,
to see somebody like that kind of going after the girl and the girl showing some kind of interest. And he's really cool. Otis is he could be like the most over guy
yeah,
in the
that's I
whole
mean, yeah. So
SmackDown roster just with this storyline.
we'll see. I feel like they're killing this now because it's all just going to be used to try to get Roman Reigns over. Because like Otis is over. Like you said, he's so over. With the belly and just he's talented for how big he is. And Tucker to me is the Marty Jannetty, the Matt Hardy. Tucker to me is like nobody's talking about him, but he's legit. I'm
Oh
not.
yeah,
Let me rephrase it. I'm not going to say Marty Jannetty was legit. He was legit maybe before the drugs, which I don't know when that was. Probably the age of 16. But it was like Tucker is just so good, and everybody talks about Otis. So that's just one thing I wanted to say. Like Tucker is real legit too.
yeah.
But
Tucker lives under Otis's shadow,
yeah,
unfortunately. But
under
that's
his
the problem.
belly.
Yeah, under the belly, you gotta move the belly to get to Tucker. But we get to a moment of bliss. We get to see Alexa Bliss coming out with Nikki Cross. Both of them wearing leather pants. That was somewhat legit.
I got my coffee too, Alexa.
Yeah, I have my orange juice.
Well, that's not
Alexa,
coffee, so
it's not coffee, it's orange juice because
she'll
I'm
talk to me before you then. So
well, it's because you can clearly hear I'm still sick, so I'm trying to get better. But very simple. They call out Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans comes out. She says, "Oh well, how do you feel about your daughter being taunted by Sasha Banks?" And she's like, "Well, any mama in the world will know that like when somebody messes with your kid, then Mama Bear goes into mode. And if they would have given me a chance, Sasha Banks would have not walked out of the building last week. So they
yes,
start. Yeah, go ahead.
I can say some decent like Lacey Evans is sometimes decent on the mic. Here, it was like the promo was a little bit like, eh. Like I didn't care about the whole when she was feuding with Becky Lynch. I think it was how she was like, "Oh, I'm a mother. I'm a mother." Like, or like, who cares about that? Like, that's not why I'm not watching wrestling to see your fucking 6-year-old kid like wave a fist at Sasha Banks. Like, I really could give a fuck less. So it's like, don't like talk. Just be like, she disrespected my family, and I'm gonna beat her ass if it. Because I do like that line where she was like, if it wasn't for security or whatever, then pulling off me, like Sasha Banks wouldn't have walked out of here. Like that's, you're talking legit heat now. Now she's like, I would have kicked your ass. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
But
Oh
like,
yeah,
we
absolutely.
don't care about the kid. Like Mama Bear mode, like clearly that didn't do anything because and also what was this the 1 week the kid is waving a fist and she hates Sasha Banks, but then on their Instagram page they posted a picture where the kid was wearing a blue wig standing next to
Mm.
Sasha. So I thought they were gonna do something more interesting like the Raven fucking Sandman where he
And then
steals
they
the
were gonna go
kid.
the ECW route.
Yeah,
The
that would have been
ECW.
legit. If her
Yeah.
kid would come out with dyed blue hair and she was like, "No, here are my real role models," because Sasha Banks and Bailey call themselves the role models. You know, like why she should have went with them. That would have made the storyline more legit and would have had more sympathy for Lacey Evans.
Oh yeah, but unfortunately they didn't do that. And she says, "Well, I don't want to be jumped on here because I know what happens on this show. So she's probably gonna come out from the back. So I might as well. I'm gonna take care of business in that ring." So he takes her skirt, goes out there, and then Dana Brooks' music plays, but she doesn't come out. And all of a sudden, Bailey and Sasha are hanging, are holding in onto Dana Brooke. And Sasha Banks says, "You might say that you're a good mother, but you're a terrible tag partner." And they go on commercial break. Commercial break comes back, and you see them feuding. Match kind of short for me. Sasha and Bailey starts with the upper hand. They exchange punches. Then you see Dana Brooke like with the elbow. Then she does the elbow that China used to do with like in the corner in the
Mm.
turnbuckle. She does that, and then we get to see a little bit of Bailey suplex for a near fall. And then there's a spot where like Lacey Evans hits the women's right, and I thought they were actually gonna win. But then she goes off the ring, and then Dana Brooke tags in, and then Dana Brooke goes in the ring, and then she tries to hit Sasha, and then Sasha gets it into the back statement and done.
Yep, and that, like you said, like you maybe thought the faces were gonna win. To me, I could again see it from the start. Dana Brooke is in this match. It's like, man, we have three people who are, again, in my opinion, Lacey Evans. I wouldn't say she's legit. I wouldn't say she's the bottom of the barrel either. But it's like you have three people that are like legit and or decent, and then you have way down below you have Dana Brooke. Clearly, she was going to be the one to take the pin,
And she did.
and she did. So
She had like a moment of light. She was like, oh, she was hitting both Sasha and
mhm.
Bailey, and then she leaves Bailey out, and then she gets in the ring. I'm like, okay, maybe she's gonna pull out something decent. No, right away, bang statement done.
And that's one of those things where I always complain that people tap too quickly, but in this case I don't mind it because this is when you have somebody tap quick. When it's somebody who is a jobber, we don't care about, it's like whatever, just done. But if that would have been like Bailey versus Sasha match or something, then that's the person who you don't have tap immediately. But like here, I have no problem with her. Big statement,
None.
done.
Do we
So
really care? No.
yeah,
But we
that's what
know
I'm.
you
Yeah.
already stated, I've stated that the program for the Royal Rumble probably is going to be
hmm
Bailey going against Lacey Evans for the WWE
And
SmackDown
and
Women's Championship.
and I feel she's gonna win it, as in Lacey Evans, because I think Bailey is about to pass Becky Lynch's record for the SmackDown for
Yeah,
holding it the most consecutive days. So I feel once Bailey gets that, which I think I think they said it's only in a couple days or a week
I
or
think it's
so.
happening today or tomorrow.
Yeah, so it'll be before the Rumble. So she's gonna
Yeah.
hold it to the Rumble, and they'll be like, Bailey, thank you for everything. Good luck in
Thank
your
you for
future.
everything. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
good.
haircut.
Yep.
Somebody else.
Good luck in your future endeavors. Stuck in catering with Sasha Banks, but we're
Yeah,
giving this belt to Lacey Evans.
exactly. Like it's like they're not doing any favors to the women's evolution that they hide for 2 years. They
hmm
actually be going backwards with the whole women's evolution. So I feel that like Sasha deserves better. Bailey deserves hopefully with Lacey Evans the match is decent. Both of them can pull out something better. But like you said, the story is focusing more on Sasha and Lacey, and it should be Lacey and Bailey. I
Yeah,
don't know why
yeah.
Sasha is getting involved in all of this. If there's not going to be, she's not even featuring the program. So I'm still confused when it comes to this storyline. Like you said, taunting the kid. I'm like, I don't really need to see. Lacey Evans' family being involved, when there's no reason for it.
Yeah, that's exactly like if this is the whole involvement of the family, just to be like, oh, you were talking to my daughter, and that is going to get me angry. That like you shouldn't need your family to get hyped up. You're in a championship match again for like the third, fourth time since you've been called up. All times have been undeservingly. So it's like that should be enough motivation to whoop Bailey's ass to get the belt. You shouldn't
Yeah,
have like again, if you're gonna involve the kid, make it legit. Have her dye her hair blue and be with
do the
Sasha and be like,
Sandman and
yeah, exactly.
Raven and
Have her coming
ECW,
out. Have her coming out wearing the legit boss T-shirt with the sunglasses on.
and then you gotta have her do the thing like
The dance,
this.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
that would be legit. I mean, you
that
do it
would be
pretty.
cool.
You
And
you
then,
you you do it pretty good.
well, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better moves than Braun Strowman.
Ooh, well, yeah, there you go. That's the Hispanic in me, I guess.
Yeah,
I have the moves. I don't know. Eddie Guerrero. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, Jean Paul Egg. Main event time. For the third time, we had to see the same exact match. We go from a triple threat singles match to another triple threat that became
Hmm.
another singles match. So what the
And,
hell?
and and every time that they kept doing it, we cared about it less and less. And this was the one thing I really wanted to see. Really, the only thing I wanted to see on this show. And by the time we actually got it, I didn't care.
Yeah, and like you said, WWE is like they have like clay. You said something. You use
Yeah.
that analogy with me in the prep for the show. It's like they have a bowl of clay, right? Now you want to just to like whatever we like. They just like to like form into something completely different to the
Yep.
point that we don't even care anymore.
Yeah, and that's
So
exactly what they did here.
I just didn't like that. Roman Reigns comes out again. He starts feuding with Baron Corbin once again. And another thing that you mentioned in the prep for the show is why is Roman featuring every single main event now?
Yeah, because
I'm tired of it.
they just have to get him over. And like I said, there's just so many people who they say Roman's not that bad. But he's still in every main event of every show he's on. He always has to have the spotlight on him. It's like I said, why couldn't you have done something where him and Corbin just beat the shit out of each other backstage and they're just taken out of this program, this feud? Because they have no right to be Corbin. None of them have any right to be in this Daniel Bryan Miz storyline.
Yeah,
Like I said, Corbin could challenge for the belt, but later on, like, dude, get in line. Like, this isn't the storyline right now.
exactly.
And it's
So
like, but yeah.
yeah, that's what happened. And then let's go to the main spots of the match because the match we already seen two matches
Hmm.
of this. So the Miz does the skull crushing finale. Then the Bryan kicks out. The Miz does something really nice that he does the figure leg for, and then he tries to like make Daniel Bryan submit. Daniel Bryan doesn't submit. That's like he rolls around the Miz, and then he applies the Lavelle lock, and he actually wins. So Daniel Bryan becomes the number one contender for the Fiend Bray Wyatt Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. After that, Daniel Bryan is celebrating, yes chance, and then we get to see the Fiend, another Firefly Funhouse. The Fiend is saying, "Oh yeah, good job, Daniel, nice job, kid," and it says, "Oh, we're gonna play again," and he's not done completely done with you. All you gotta do is what?
Let him in.
Let him in. So let him in, and then the show goes off the air. Daniel Bryan is ada. No yes
Hmm.
chances, ada chance.
Yep.
So
Ada.
ada. So anyway, guys, closing thoughts on this, Jean Paul. The show
This.
already killed.
Yep.
What is
Again,
like last show of the decade?
it was awful. I'm not even going to like. It wasn't a thing where it's like, oh, last show of the decade or last pay per view of the decade or pay per view of the year, show of the year, like however you want to coin it or call it, whatever phrase you want to use. Like they're not gonna do anything special, and I didn't want them to do anything special. Just do something good. Just do something decent. Just give me a show, a program that's not going to insult my intelligence. That is actually good in ring wrestling. That's not a 300-pound oaf that can't wrestle, shaking his hips with the New Day. That's not, like women's matches that mean nothing. Like I want to see wrestling that actually means something. Don't take something that does have meaning and just run it through the dirt and make a joke over it and use it to get Roman Reigns on TV. And like that's what they do. They just take shows and they just they somehow find a way to make them bad. And I wasn't
Exactly.
expecting anything different tonight. And
Absolutely terrible. So
yeah,
this is our review of the show. We hope that you guys enjoy it. I know that it wasn't a great show, but I hope you guys enjoy the charisma from John Paul, myself. We try to make it as fun as we can. We
mm,
do this for you guys, and once again, we want to thank everybody that has been watching the show. New subscribers, thank you very much. I want to say
yep.
a big thank you to John Scott. He's from the UK, so we're getting people from the United Kingdom. So thank you very much for supporting Road Break. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Road Break, Twitter, the OG Road Break, Instagram, the original Road Break. We're here 24/7, delivering every single review from every single major show. John Paul and myself would like to say thank you very much. And in the name of both of us, we would like to say what thing, John Paul?
Adele.